Hi and welcome to Whiskey Shared. You're watching day 6 of my mystery whiskey advent calendar. I'm Toby and you're watching Whiskey Shared. Welcome to day 6 of my mystery whiskey advent calendar. If you've seen this before and you know it works, then you can just skip straight forward to the tasting. Otherwise, the way this works is I have over 100 samples in my sample collection and my wife has picked 24 at random. She'll put one a day into a blue Glencairn glass and I'll nose it, I'll taste it, I'll tell you if I like it, and I'll have a stab at what I think it is. This is just for fun, so sometimes I get it right and sometimes I get it wrong. Should we find out what's in my glass? On to the whiskey. If you'd like to play along with me and find out what's in my glass when I do, then just keep watching. Otherwise, take a look in the description now for a sneak peek. Let's start with a nose. Right, so this is very nice and sweet. It reminds me of like sticky toffee pudding. There's a really lovely toffee caramel note. Very sweet indeed. Makes me think it's lightly sherried. Very nice. I think there's some malted barley in there. There's a little bit of a yeasty note. Maybe even a hint of sulphur. But yeah, I'm struggling to get any more at this stage. Let's move on to the palate. Yeah, this is quite hot. I think potentially it's quite high ABV then. So I'm getting some heat, I'm getting some pepper. But initially, the first thing I got was that caramel sweetness. It was very nice. I'm also getting that yeastiness that I picked up on the nose. That yeastiness carries forward to the palate. There's also malted barley. And that high ABV is now really activating my saliva glands. It's making them work overtime. And yeah, even making my eyes water, well, just a little. It's yeah, it's punchy and it's tasty, and it's reminding me of something like a Highland or a Speyside Scotch whisky at this point. Let's have another sip. Yeah, the whiskey is most likely sherried, reminding me of like an Oloroso or a PX cask whiskey. It's quite sweet, but not overly sweet on the palate. Not like it was on the nose. I'm getting that yeastiness still, and there's some charred oak, there's some malted barley, but it is definitely reminding me of Highland or Speyside Scotch whisky. I think it's probably, my guess would be it's not very old. I would say sort of at least 10 to 12 years, but I wouldn't think it's much higher than that. I think 15 at the absolute limit. It's definitely got some youthfulness in there. It's a little sprightly as well, but yeah, it is a nice whiskey. Let's have one final sip. ABV wise, I think this is probably cask strength, and if not, it's at least 55% ABV. And yeah, I think this would benefit from a splash of water, but I don't think it needs much. I think that initial palate shocker has calmed down my palate and acclimatized it to the dram. But other than that, I think, you know, if you've been, maybe you had something a little bit stronger before this, then yeah, sort of maybe 48-50% whiskey before this, then yeah, I don't think it would be such a shock to the system. But obviously some drams can taste hotter than they are, and some can taste lower than they are. But yeah, I think I'm going to struggle distillery-wise with this. It's reminded me of a number of different distilleries, like Glenmorangie, a Thrusk. There's several that this reminds me of, but nothing that I could pick out in particular. Shall we find out what's in my glass? Right, so it's Lochlea Cask Strength Batch 2. It's 60% ABV, and it was sent to me as part of my Whisky Pioneer subscription. I have actually reviewed the Lochlea Cask Strength Batch 1. I got that as part of my Somerton subscription. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check out that video. And obviously this whiskey is young. I don't even think they're 10 years old. So yeah, it definitely came across as a little sprightly, but yeah, definitely tasted older than that. I'm not sure what this has been aged in. Obviously, if I can find out, I'll put that on screen for you now. But yeah, it's definitely punchy, 60% ABV. I don't know if that's exactly as it came out of the cask or whether or not it's been watered, but 60% on the nose is yeah, it's magnificent and very punchy indeed. Yeah, it's a very nice whiskey. I'm glad I got to try it, and yeah, hopefully you'll come back again tomorrow for day 7. Sorcha. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.